I'm Caren.
And I'm Glenn.
Welcome to week 7 of Homestead Frugal Living Tips Masterclass. If you haven't watched weeks 1 through 6, go back and watch those and catch up. Frugal Living Tip 1 is consider not having an internet service. I know that's hard for a lot of people. Of course, I'm not speaking to people that work from home. I'm speaking to people about like myself that we don't work from home, and what you can do is you can use your public library. I actually was talking to a friend this week, and she completely has not had internet for a very long time, but she goes to the library all the time. She does all of her business transactions using the computer there. She checks out books and she checks out DVDs, and it works out, and it's all free. So most county libraries will provide that service. Our internet in this area is about $50 a month. So if you think about $600 times, 5 years, that's $3,000. So it definitely adds up. I did not have internet when my kids were growing up, actually, in my household. I might have, yeah, pretty much so. Okay, tip number 2.
Tip number 2 is getting rid of non-essential items. In other words, for that could be wasteful items, being extravagant. What's a few bucks today? It doesn't cost much.
Like a Starbucks coffee.
Yeah, or something like that. Addiction or routine. Maybe all this, and sometimes this leads to bad health or whatever. But anyway, it's just, you can do without on a lot of things that you think you can't do without. In other words, it just so coincidentally, I was at the general store yesterday, in fact, and I was just sitting there listening with a few more people, and to a guy who had a conversation, and he was really getting interesting to me. And he had said, he was an older guy, and he was talking to me about what he was, when he was younger, just started out, had a wife and a few kids, and he had a addiction problem to cigarettes and beer. He had 3 packs a day, and about a 12-pack of beer a day is what he was getting at. I find that pretty hard to believe that someone can consume that much stuff in a day. Anyway, he had a thought just come out of the blue, and he said to himself, "This is not right. This is so wasteful. I can't believe that I'm doing this to myself and to my family." He quit cold turkey cigarettes one day, never touched them again, and then a few months later he said he did the same thing to his beer consumption. He had said that he was spending approximately $300 a month on beer and cigarettes.
Was that like 30 years ago?
And yes, at least 30 years ago or better. He said, and it's been years, he said he figured it up, and he said he saved $36,000 in 10 years. Mm-hmm. And if you have strong conviction and had that set aside, well,
that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same for like buying like these expensive, coffee drinks.
Yeah.
People don't realize that is big money in the long run. Yeah. I think that kind of thing. But anyway, okay. Tip number 3. This is something we've been doing for a long time. It's fermenting grains for your chickens and cows. So it extends the amount of feed and it adds nutrition, so they don't usually need the same quantity. I'd say from the years we've been doing it that it might even help up to a fourth of the quantity,
Something
to extend
like
it. And it's healthier, so we think that's definitely anything you can do to give your animals just anything
way more
extra.
way more digestible for them.
And another thing we're doing right now is just right outside the door at the moment, we planted triticale for our cows, and that's giving them
a little bit of benefit.
Just anything helps with the money. So, okay, tip number 4 is have a no-buy year. And what that means to us is, we buy things that are essential, but we're not into consumerism. Things that, as I've gotten older, things that I think, when I'm out shopping and just say that I saw some little, I call them, knickknacks or
trinkets.
Things that aren't essential to your life.
Right.
Just say a pillow for your couch or whatever. Once you buy it, it becomes a part of you and you're responsible for it. You have to take care of it. You have to clean it. You move it around, and then in the end, it usually ends up in a pile of junk or going to Goodwill anyway. So I just don't buy anything because I know what's going to happen, the end result. We call it essentialism. We do have no problem spending money on things that are essential. And we're not really, I'd say, minimalist because we do have a lot of things, but they're all like for homesteading, like beekeeping, dairy, cheese, bread. So just be mindful of impulsive shopping. I think that if you order your groceries online, and I feel like if I step into our beautiful grocery stores in Fredericksburg, that it's just a sentence of $200 past the threshold. We can't. So I just choose to do online ordering, and then I really think about it. And I really do not like spur of the moment purchases.
Right.
I really get everything that we have, even though we're older. I think we both spend a lot of time making sure that we want to deal with it in our space, right?
Right.
I mean, we're real careful. Most of the time we just pass.
A lot of this stuff we got wasn't new.
Yeah, but we do pass, I'd say. I mean, all the time on things. I think we do. And I have a quote that I just love. I've loved this for years. It's called, "Have nothing in your house that you do not know to be useful or believe to be beautiful." And that is a quote from William Morris. Okay, tip number 5. I've been doing this also for about, would you say using tallow for our skin products for probably 15 years?
At least 15.
Yes. So I feel like we save a lot of money. We don't purchase one product of lotion or
no perfumed products.
No, we take our beef tallow, and I will buy castor oil. It's sourced, with no hexane. It's organic, and I make all of our salves. Most of my makeup. If I don't make it, then I buy it from Toops & Co. But everything's tallow based that I use. But I think that a person could save major money. Women could, or even buying products, moisturizers and things for when you get insect bites or whatever. But I usually, make my own, and I use frankincense. And I've done that for so long. We save a lot of money.
My skin always cleared up when I was butchering pigs or something.
Yeah.
Way back. Because of that lotion, my skin cleared up.
Yeah.
Hands cleared up completely.
Real soft. Yeah. Always. Yeah, that's true. I've heard that from a lot of the older Germans. Last week I told you that I was going to share with you some of the strategies that we used for leaving the city and moving to a farm. We're going to share a few with you right now, but we plan to do a podcast in the future to really give you some in-depth details. We both feel like that we have a lot to say on this because we're a lot older and we've been doing this a long time, and I feel like we're I feel like we've been successful in setting ourselves up financially.
Yeah, some things I did right. And
Some things
I did wrong,
we did
maybe.
right and wrong. Okay. So the first thing I did, this was in 1998, is I prayed. I asked the Lord for guidance because I knew that, especially back then, it was pretty much unheard of for corporate, I lived in North Dallas, yuppies to move to a farm. Mm-hmm. So I was like, if it's going to happen, the Lord is going to have to make a way for it. So the second thing is, I think you have to have a lot of faith. You have to be willing to take a leap of faith. And I think Mr. Roofer had a young family when you came here, and there's really no jobs in a lot of these rural towns. No. And you had a very successful business in New Mexico.
And the job opened up completely when I got here.
Right. But you didn't really know that till you were here.
I did not know that.
And there are always going to be a lot of naysayers and people like, how could you leave your new job, your great job, and go to an unknown? Yeah. But I think I had a lot of faith, and you must have also during that time. I was 36 years old, I think, when I did it. And you were, 45 or something?
The Lord has never left me without a job.
Right.
My whole life.
55 years.
I've never been wondering what job I go to next.
But that's a leap of faith. The kind of business you've always been into is just knowing the Lord's going to provide the next thing. So tip number 3 on my strategy, and this is big, and I'm saying I do have a lot of faith, but I also think that you should make a plan. So I had plan A and I had plan B. And I wrote them out, and I pretty much stuck to them. And it, I'm not saying everything was perfect, but I'm here today. And I did get to live the dream homesteading life. Okay, tip number 4 on strategies is living below your means. And I know plenty of people who spend every penny that they make every month. They have lots of payments. I know some older people that live very comfortably on Social Security. And I know people that have 6-figure incomes and they're still always broke. Yeah. So Mr. Roofer, I believe you've always been like that's a
right. That's a must. I can't see. I call that wasteful if you're spending more than what you need to.
Right. And that's, you're just, to us, it's not even the right thing to do. I mean, right. For our goals. Okay, so those are a few tips, how we got here. And we're going to have dedicate a whole podcast to that. But I wanted to share with you, so why do you even need to be frugal at all? What are your motives? What is your mindset? So I wanted to share with you what ours are, because there's a difference between these tips were to help you be efficient and good use of your money, not stingy or cheap. Those are different things. Okay, so to me, money is a tool. I absolutely do not give it, and I'm very careful not to make it an idol. I don't really think about it too much. These are all mindset things that I've been talking to you about. And they're because it's what I think is right. It doesn't matter if you are millionaires multiple times. This is still how we believe and we want to live. Right. And so, of course, why you want to be frugal is because you never want to spend more than you earn, because that concept is very, very important. And I have a Bible verse I want to share with you about that. So it's Luke 14:28. For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first, and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? So to me, the Bible is real clear that we should plan out our finances and stay within our means. Mm-hmm. The second reason that I have done this frugal tips class for you is you should always strive to be debt-free. To have a debt-free life is freedom. And here is a Bible verse that I think tells us, that speaks to this. It's Proverbs 22:7. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is a servant to the lender. Well, that, I'm big on, I know you are too. You grew up that way. Is just a debt-free lifestyle is something I think that I started at 25, 24, but I think I was pretty much set free by 36 or 37. And I'm going to do a podcast how I did that. Okay, the third reason to live frugally is living frugally most of the time will create excess resources eventually. And with those resources, we want to help other people. That's kind of where Mr. Roofer and I are in our life. We do keep generating income and having businesses, but I can't think of anything that you and I want. We want for nothing. I will not change a thing about my lifestyle. I never do.
Right. I don't either.
But we do want to help others, and that's important to help. When you see a need in your church or your fellow, even in your family, we want it. That's what we like to do, or we want to do that. Yeah. So here's a Bible verse. Those who give to the poor will lack nothing, but those who close their eyes to them receive many curses. So Proverbs 28:27. So, I think that's a good motive for people, don't you think, to take I know people that are very, very frugal and live on very, very limited incomes, but they're the first ones I see, volunteering around town and helping others.
That's true.
And that is this friend that I was mentioning earlier. There's no one more giving than her. And she also shared another little tip I had not thought of. Is she said that she had really had to be frugal her whole life, and that she wanted to stay home with her children, so she bought everything at garage sales, their clothes, and she said she could find brand new things, and she would even buy Christmas gifts. And she said, and she has 40-something-year-old children now, and they're very successful and very educated. So she said that she feels like she made the right decision.
That's her lifestyle too.
It still is. I've actually learned a lot from her. Well, I hope that our master class has helped you, and I think going forward that Mr. Roofer and I, Mr. Roofer's he is just
hopefully a little entertaining. I don't know.
We'll hope it'll help you, because Mr. Roofer's 72 and I'm 57, and we've really spent a lot of time in this area, don't you think? In financial planning, and we are retired now. And when you are a homesteader, retired homesteader, you don't have a 401k or usually a retirement from a company.
No.
So I feel like for you homesteaders that are just now starting out, that you could benefit from kind of seeing what your life will look like when you get older. So thank you for watching, and please go back and watch those other weeks in our series. And we are so glad you're here, and we hope that you have a blessed new year. It's a new beginning. It's a new beginning of changes and excitement, and we're just so glad to be alive. And
tomorrow's 2024.
Yes. So if you have any comments, ask us below. And from our Texas Hill Country farm to you, have a blessed year. And Mr. Roofer,
We'll see you on the next video.
And we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.